Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where we pay tribute to Leon White, a man better known as the man called Vader. It is Lost in the Midcard. Welcome to kind of a special edition of Lost in the Midcard. We didn't do a recap show for Takeover and Money in the Bank. We're gonna kind of go over those a little bit here to start the show, and then to cover a lot of headlines. There's a lot of interesting things, a lot of interesting things to debate about from the headlines this week. Lots of juicy details and such. So we'll cover all that, and of course talk about Vader, one of the best big men in the business. I got a great thing that Mick Foley had just wrote about him here, so I'll talk about that as well. Read what Mick had to say, and. But first, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. What you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard, hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way, typically every Thursday and Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. You can also find us on the YouTube. The links to all that are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard. You can also... get those links on our Twitter page at LITMC Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers. As always, my co-host he is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
It's Vader time, brother.
I loved. Did you see Joe's tweet from this morning?
Yeah, I've seen a great deal of the tweets from around the pro wrestling community today.
Oh, there's ton. Yeah, we'll run down a few of them. But I like Joe's doing the Vader gesture in the airplane. I thought that was a pretty cool picture. Let's first talk about NXT Takeover Chicago Part 2. Once again, another damn fine takeover. Don't you agree?
They never fail to deliver, my friend. Even when you know the results, like I said ahead of time, I thought this was the most predictable takeover we've ever had. The show was still amazing, and it still delivered on every level. And it just goes to show you can have a predictable show and still be amazing. It doesn't have to be, an unpredictable event to be a great show.
Yeah.
Sometimes just doing the logical thing that makes sense is the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, we went 5 for 5 in our predictions here. I don't think any one of the three of us had disagreed on it. I think maybe Daryl might have said Dream.
I thought you and him both said Dream, and I was the only one that said Ricochet.
No, I said Ricochet. I know I said Ricochet.
Okay, well, Daryl definitely said Dream.
Yeah.
I thought both of you said Dream. I thought I was alone on the Ricochet call.
Nope, I did say Ricochet. As it made more sense. Well, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I think I said Ricochet.
I'm sure Mark Joe will tell us by the end of this week.
Yeah, hopefully. That's the only one in question.
He always likes to point out to me every time you're wrong.
Yeah, well,
it's one of his favorite things to do.
That's what he lives for, huh?
Pretty much.
I swear I picked Ricochet. I don't know why I would have picked Dream, because I was thinking Ricochet was either going to go on and face Black or Cole. So I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah, well, we'll find out. Opening match was for the tag team championships. Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch against the Undisputed Era. Big Chicago pop for the Undisputed Era. No big surprise there. Adam Cole not wrestling on TakeOver, but at least we get a little Adam Cole, baby, from the 15,000 in attendance at the Allstate Arena. Not a big pop for Lorcan and Burch, but I'll tell you what, Matt, by the end of it, they were they had Chicago's respect, didn't they?
I would definitely say so. That was a great way to start the show. That was a hard-hitting tag match for sure.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of each other. That's not an understatement there. They literally beat the shit out of each other. Of course, the fans largely behind Undisputed Era because Adam Cole's just amazing. But a nice little bullshit chant from the crowd when Cole got kicked out, caught cheating.
Yeah, that was definitely a pro Undisputed Era crowd.
Yeah, that was insane. Some good stuff there, but to nobody's surprise, Undisputed Era comes out the victorious. They're probably got the War Raiders on their radar in Brooklyn is probably a good guess, I would say. I didn't get in NXT tonight, but I assume War Raiders defeated the Mighty.
Correct.
Yeah, so probably looking.
Honestly, there wasn't much to NXT tonight. It was 2 matches and a whole bunch of interviews that if you look at WWE's YouTube page, you've already seen all of them.
Yeah,
there was not much to NXT tonight.
Yeah, I kind of felt like I kind of felt like I wasn't going to miss much there. Normally don't on those. They show Kairi Sane sitting at ringside, which made us think the women were up next, but no. It's Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, and I mean, what can you say about this, Matt? I mean, we knew going in it was going to steal the show, but I mean, some of the shit they did just... I mean, Ricochet hitting a shooting star press 3/4 of the ring. I mean, how the hell can you do that? And then Dream trying to one-up him, which was mainly the story of the match, and Dream thought he could go coast to coast with an elbow, but missed the purple Rainmaker, and that opened.
Well, I mean, he pretty much did go coast to coast, just Ricochet moved.
Yeah, he just missed it. He didn't hit the move. Yeah. Well, and in the shooting star press, Dream got his knees up too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
But Dream did not stop the 630 from happening, and Ricochet is your winner. But
I'm telling you right now, if you'd have told me last week that Velveteen Dream was going to come out dressed as a combination of Prince Puma and Hulk Hogan, I probably would have laughed you off this podcast.
How about that little?
That was definitely unexpected, and it was kind of fucking hilarious.
How about that little?
They pretty much opened the show. They opened the match almost identical to
Rock Hogan.
Rock and Hogan from WrestleMania 18.
Yep.
So it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, Dream was definitely hulking up in his entrance. That was pretty cool. Yeah, that was quite a nice. I mean, that was exactly what that was really good. I liked that. But yeah, I would not mind a rematch with those two somewhere down the line. Somebody had mentioned on Twitter, I think it was at live as this was happening, and they're like they put when Patrick Clark debuted in pro wrestling, it was like sometime in 2014, and it's just insane where he's at today.
It really is. You know, him and his tag partner, or former tag partner, Leo Rush. They have been in this business for a cup of coffee, but they are rearing up quick. Like I would have never guessed that Leo Rush was going to be on 205 Live, you know, like 2 months ago already.
Yeah. And
this Tuesday he makes his in-ring debut on 205 Live. It's just like, damn, okay, you know, that's cool as shit. You know, it's crazy how fast those two, you know, have progressed within the WWE system.
He's got an unexpected fan too. I noticed old Danielle Fischel, who played Topanga in Boy Meets World in the 90s. She's excited for the Leo Rush debut on 205 Live this week.
That's funny.
Next up is the Women's Championship match between Nikki Cross and Shayna Baszler. This was a kind of a short match, but it was probably the weakest of the 5 on the card, but still pretty solid and pretty damn creepy when Cross has a smile on her face just before she passes out, huh?
I wouldn't expect anything less from Nikki Cross. So
yeah. Now, do you think they get Sanity kind of established for a couple of weeks and then they bring her up? Do you think, or?
Well, it's a good starting feud if they're going to feud with the Usos for a bit before they move on.
You got Naomi.
I was going to say you can get Naomi involved and you could put Cross right into that. Will they do it? I don't know. But I think Sanity's missing a valuable piece without Nikki Cross. I feel like her story has wrapped up in NXT, and I would very much like to see her get the call up and be reunited with Sanity where she belongs, but only time will tell.
Well, yeah, they did put Carmelo with Enzo and Cass. Well, now what's more on that later, huh?
Oh, we'll talk more about that later.
Baszler puts the Kira Fuda clutch on Nikki Cross, and that was all she wrote after 8 minutes. Shayna Baszler, still your women's champion. They show EC3. He's got a good ringside seat for the NXT Championship match. And after NX3, hey, how about that? That was a nice little slip. After EC3, they showed another gentleman in a suit. By the name of Keith Lee. Big pop from the Chicago crowd. They know who Keith Lee is. He is on his way to NXT. I'm excited.
I wonder how Shane Taylor feels.
I had not seen Shane Taylor in a while, and I watched Ring of Honor. Finally got some time to get Ring of Honor in this week. And, man, boy's lost some weight.
Yeah, he's slimmed down. He has slimmed down quite a bit from when we saw him in Dallas.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy to think when we went to Supercard of Honor in Dallas just a hair over 2 years ago. It's crazy to think these guys were in the dark match, literally unknown, and now look at Keith Lee's had a hell of a 2 years. Shane Taylor's starting to get his feet under him in Ring of Honor. It's pretty crazy how. I had never heard. Have you heard those guys before we got into Dallas?
No.
Okay, and I haven't either, and I actually had they were both hanging out, just hanging out after their match, and I think I was going to get a beer or whatever, and I said, "Hey, what's up? You guys impressed?" Because those big men flew around in that match, didn't they, Matt?
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, so they were cool as shit, and it's so crazy how 2 years later, here's Keith Lee in NXT. Shane Taylor is kind of getting in his own singles-wise and Ring of Honor, so it's pretty weird how things turn out. NXT Championship, Matt, Aleister Black, Lars Sullivan. This told me one thing. Lars Sullivan belongs in the upper echelon of NXT. I thought the psychology, the ring work, everything about this match with Black, I thought Sullivan looked top-notch to me. What did you think?
There were so many people going into this match like, "Oh, this match is gonna suck."
Yeah.
Blah, 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 and I put out a tweet referencing that like 3/4 of the way through the match, along the lines of chuckling at the thought of everybody that thought that this match wasn't going to deliver. Because I knew these two were going to deliver.
Yeah.
And they did. They had a great match. And, honestly, if Champ and Gargano went and had to tear the damn ring apart, I still stand by the unpopular opinion that Black and Lars should have closed the show. But clearly, based on what they had to do to tear apart the ring to get to the finish of the main event, they couldn't close the show.
Yeah.
But in a perfect world, I feel that they should have.
Yeah, but at the same time, this whole thing with Gargano and Ciampa started in Chicago, so
Yeah, but it isn't ending in Chicago either. Clearly, they're going to have another match in Brooklyn. This isn't over.
You think they're going to have another match?
Dude, this is not over. Triple H even said on the NXT Takeover post-conference call with the media that the Gargano Ciampa feud wasn't done. So they're gonna fight again at freaking Brooklyn. So dude, if I'm Black and I don't get the main event again in Brooklyn, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
Yeah.
So you know what they honestly what they should do is they should just I don't know how many people would like this, but you know what I would do? I'd triple threat it. And I'd put Black in there with Gargano and Ciampa.
Yeah.
And make it for the championship.
Well, I never thought it would be the end of it. I thought it would maybe take a little break, and then along the way, Ciampa beats Black for the title, and then that's how Gargano finally gets over on Ciampa, is winning the NXT championship from him. I think that's the end story. I think the end story here is Gargano beats Ciampa for the title.
Well, we will see.
Towards the end of the match, Black went for the Black Mass. Sullivan caught his foot, hit a clothesline, and went for the freak accident. Black got out of the way, hit a knee to the face, and nailed the Black Mass on Black. Oh, that wasn't enough, because the one Black Mass only got Sullivan down to one knee, so then Black hit him with another one, and that put him down for good after a 14-minute. Great title match between Black and Sullivan. And we go backstage. Johnny Gargano is backstage. Candice LeRae shows up. Remember, she said she was done with this after she saw that this was going to a street fight. Well, Candice LeRae showed up and said, kick his ass, and handed him the crutch, a broken crutch. And I thought that was a pretty cool moment. And I did get a little uneasy, Matt, because I figured maybe we wouldn't see Candice at all, and the fact that we saw her there, I was like, don't do the stupid thing. Don't do the stupid thing. They didn't do
Yeah, because if it was WWE, they would have done the stupid thing.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad when they don't do that.
This was not the emotional roller coaster that New Orleans was. This was just who's going to kill
a very hard-hitting affair.
How about that sign with the old stop sign in it? That was definitely ECW-esque. I loved it. Obviously, it was a plant, but
clearly,
yeah, they ain't gonna let nobody in with a stop sign. People are probably gonna. I wonder how many people are next show trying to come in with a stop sign in between. No, sir, No, you can't bring that in.
Yeah.
Though I did see briefcases in the crowds, so.
Well, they sell the Money in the Bank briefcases.
Yeah, but I thought they quit doing that after that one incident.
No, dude, it was Money in the Bank weekend. Of course, they were going to sell them and try to get that money.
Well, hopefully nobody's as dumb as that one guy was when he threw the briefcase at somebody.
Yeah, I mean that's at the point they were selling them all year round.
Yeah.
So I mean, but Money in the Bank weekend, you're in the same building all weekend. It makes sense to be selling that merch in there in that venue that weekend.
All sorts of shit came down in this match. It was just insane. Ciampa taking off Gargano's wedding ring and spitting on it. I don't know if that was his. I don't think that was his wedding ring, but
I would surely hope it wasn't the real ring.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard
because the way he chucked it, it'd be really hard to fucking find it.
Especially since it's black.
So
yeah, especially since it's black. Yeah, but how crazy was that spot? I mean,
it was a hell of a visual. Yeah. But like I said, you gotta hope and believe that really wasn't his real ring.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, I mean, talk about enhancing one of the best heels in the business. I mean, it was something you don't see every day. I mean, I could never think of a match where somebody took somebody's wedding ring and spit on it.
I don't think there is a more unlikable heel with no redeeming qualities in the entire world of professional wrestling right now than Ciampa.
And he doesn't even need entrance music. Boos are his entrance music,
Pretty much.
So they're on top of some big old crates or whatnot, and Gargano drops Ciampa through these tables with the similar type of drop that Ciampa did to him in Chicago when he turned heel. They put old Ciampa on the stretcher. I thought Gargano was gonna jump off of the crates and do an elbow drop while he was on the stretcher. I was just waiting for that to happen. But
honestly, I thought they were doing the same thing. So,
but instead, I loved the visual of Gargano going to the ring, dragging the stretcher. I loved that visual. He put the handcuffs on Ciampa, put a trash can over his head, did a few super kicks, and the whatchamacallits, the agents, some authority figures, and some referees and officials, including Steve Corino, came out to break it up. And during the melee, much before all of that, Tommaso Ciampa had exposed the ring all the way down to the wood. He tore up a corner of the ring all the way down to the wood. While things were getting broke up, Ciampa was able to sneak in a cheap shot and DDT'd Gargano right into that exposed wood for the 1-2-3. Amazing. This thing went 36 minutes, and it didn't. It didn't
feel. I was just gonna say it didn't feel like it was a 36-minute match.
No, I can't compare the two, Matt, because it's apples and oranges. I mean, I think I said this on the podcast after the New Orleans match. I literally just sat there with a blank stare for a good 10 minutes because I was so spent on that roller coaster. And this was just a completely different. This was just a fight. This wasn't an emotional journey. This was just a fucking fight. And so it's apples and oranges. So there's no way I'm going to compare the two. I mean, when it comes to picking match of the year, I'm going to lean New Orleans just because the way it made me feel afterwards. I don't know if you agree with it, but it's hard to pick one over the other. But when it comes to saying match of the year, I'll probably lean to New Orleans. What about you?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't even want to try to compare the two.
We might just have to have co-match of the year. Well, shit, we might just have to put the whole series in as match of the year. But after the show, Candice came out and checked on Johnny as he was still down. And at the end, it's always interesting when a show closes with fans chanting "Fuck you, Ciampa." But that's just as good of a job as he does, huh?
Yeah.
So then we go to Money in the Bank, and let me tell you something. I thought Money in the Bank was overall good. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't hate it, Matt.
It was all right. I wasn't blown away by it. I mean, like I went in with very low expectations, and it met them. I wasn't blown away by the show, but I didn't hate it either. There was some bad on the show. There was some good. I thought it was a mixed bag show overall. The stuff I really enjoyed. The stuff I didn't like at all.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then, of course, we do our polls after the shows here. And for NXT Takeover Chicago, 79% of the crowd gave it an A, 15% gave it a B. I'm even calling the people that gave it a C trolls. Nobody gave it a D or F at least, but I'm still calling the people that gave it a C a troll. But clearly, overwhelmingly positive reaction. And Money in the Bank got a positive reaction, not quite the positive reaction. Half the crowd gave it a B. Then following it up with 23% giving it a C, 18% gave it a D or F, 9% rated Money in the Bank an A.
It must be Alexa Bliss fans.
Must be. I'll tell you what, though. I mean, obviously, this is probably more on Daniel Bryan than anything, but the match between Bryan and Cass was miles better than Backlash.
Well, it couldn't have been any worse.
True. But I thought it was...
you're kind of damning it with faint praise there. I mean, the last match was so bad.
Yeah, but...
this one couldn't be any... This couldn't have been any worse.
It was a good match, though. I mean, it wasn't awesome, great, or anything like that, but it didn't suck. I thought it was a good match, good, solid match. I thought the two did well. And, well, one's not working there anymore. Bobby Lashley, Sami Zayn, thank God that got over in 6 minutes, right? That was a dud.
Well, Sammy's injured.
Was he injured beforehand? I know we're going to talk.
He was injured prior. This was the storyline to write him off TV. Apparently, he's been working with some kind of injury for a bit now, and this was their way to write him off television for a while.
I'll have more details. I'll have more details on that later when we get into the headlines.
Yeah.
I didn't know when he was hurt though. Well, I guess it makes sense that they end it with 3 vertical suplexes. That's about the safest way to end it, huh?
Well, yeah. Well, if you're hurt, like the last thing you want to be doing is taking really high impact moves. A suplex is, kind of good.
Yeah. But hey, well, at least we finally got the spear on Raw this week from Lashley.
Yeah, right in front of Roman.
Up there for match of the night was Seth Rollins and Elias, I thought. Between the women's Money in the Bank and Seth Rollins and Elias and the Last Man Standing match, I think those 3, and the men's match was actually not that bad either, but I came away impressed, most impressed by the women, who did a lot. They did a great job the first time, and they built on it and did a better job this time. But I thought Seth Rollins and Elias really did a hell of a job. It just makes it frustrating that Ziggler wins the title the next night on Raw. Why not give it to Elias? I mean, is Vince just thinking, well, he's on TV enough, he doesn't need the title? Is that... What kind of logic is Vince got going on there?
I don't know.
Yeah, but hell of a match though between Elias and Seth Rollins. So.
Yeah.
Women's Money in the Bank, like I said, good, better than last year's, and last year's was a good solid start. I thought. God, some of those. Woo, how about that? Butt bomb onto the ladder Natalya gave Naomi, and then she does her little run through. I don't know what you want to call that move, but where she jumps on their back. That just looked painful as hell, didn't it?
I thought all the women, with the exception of Alexa Bliss, worked really hard in this ladder match. Bliss didn't take any ladder bumps whatsoever.
I don't know why
she spent at least 3/4 of the match laying on the outside of the ring, and she did next to nothing, and she got to get the win and the title at the end of the night. I'm assuming the reason why they didn't want her taking any ladder bumps is because they didn't want a chance at injury and then not be able to go with their plan for the end of the night. Mm-hmm. But when you see 7 other women, mm-hmm. Breaking their backs and busting their ass, and Alexa stood out in that match like a sore thumb of doing next to nothing and getting the win. It honestly, the finish rubbed me the wrong way. I feel any woman in that match deserved it more than her. But
and she goofed at the end too. Made Becky Lynch look like a dumbass.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate Bliss. She's been a good champion.
Dude, to me, she's the female version of Roman Reigns.
But people don't
the problem is people tolerate the people that hate Roman Reigns are mostly the male 18 to 35-year-old demographic. And do you think the male 18 to 35-year-old demographic, for the most part, the type of people that had the mentality that hate Roman Reigns, are going to hate a cute little blonde girl?
No, they got boners.
To dress up exactly. And that's why she doesn't get the heat for it. But they literally book Alexa Bliss like a female Roman Reigns. And honestly, I see through the facade of her looks, and I'm just tired of it. So
I thought Lana looked really good in this match. Hopefully she can be used more in the wrestling capacity going forward. We're getting ahead of ourselves, though, but I'm kind of wondering if her husband's not going to be champion after July. AJ's had that title for quite a while. Little side note there.
Dude, Styles isn't losing the title to Rusev.
I know, I'm just trying to hope. Because it's Rusev.
This is clearly a skippable pay-per-view on the road to whoever Styles' opponent is at SummerSlam, which is either going to be The Miz or Samoa Joe.
Well, I think Bryan and Miz are going to be SummerSlam, so I'm going to guess Joe there, but...
Because they protected Joe on Tuesday.
Yeah, they did.
You know, they didn't have to, but, you know, because I'm a huge Joe fan, and I make no, apologies for it.
Me too.
I was very disappointed he was one and done in the gauntlet. But the fact that he was one and done, but they let him lose by countout, definitely shows, in my eyes anyway, that WWE was looking out for his best interests and were looking to protect him in the process. So,
yeah, and we'll definitely talk about that here. But man, they gave us a little treat there. The SmackDown overall was just fucking great this week.
I really enjoyed SmackDown this week. I thought it was an excellent show. It started out a little wonky with it feeling like they were just completely copying the beginning of Raw with the SmackDown segment, but after that, they jumped into another gear, and SmackDown was just... I thought SmackDown was really great.
Next up, Chicago let it known that they didn't want to see Reigns and Jinder Mahal. And when that happens, why drag the match out to 17 minutes when the crowd is shitting on it? I mean, seriously, guys.
Dude, I don't know. Especially when this show was supposed to be over by 10:30 and it went past 11. They easily could have cut this match short.
They went
and honestly, I really would have appreciated them cutting this match short.
Yeah. Same with Carmella and Asuka. That went 11 minutes and it wasn't that good. But hey, the return of James Ellsworth. And I'm happy about that. Next up is Last Man Standing, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura. This baby went 30 minutes, and I think we've said it on the show. They're just progressively giving us better matches, and they gave us the best match of the feud right here, didn't they?
It'd be hard to argue to say that there was a better one.
That Styles clash from the stairs to the floor, that was pretty brutal. And the sound that AJ made when he kicked Nakamura in the nuts, I mean, that made me hurt.
Oh, you mean at the very end when Nakamura was like, come on! Like, all right, ding! Right. Oh, I was man. Like, even I was just like, oh!
Yeah, the way the
that
sound...
was a fitting shot.
I mean, we know it's kayfabe.
To be the finality of that feud.
We know it's kayfabe, but the sound that AJ produced while doing that move was just perfect. Because it made
really
you go,
was.
Because you're like, yeah, AJ, give it to him, kick him in the nuts. But when he does it with that set, you're just like, oh.
Honestly, silly me, I wasn't expecting Styles to kick him in the nuts. I fully expected to come on, and I didn't know what was going to happen next, and I was very surprised by that. But I enjoyed it. I loved that match. I thought the match was fantastic.
Just like Ciampa Gargano, it didn't feel 30 minutes. The only thing to nitpick, and this is not nitpicking Styles Nakamura, this is nitpicking Last Man Standing matches. 5 minutes into a match, motherfucker's going to get up before the count of 10. That kind of drags the match on, in my opinion, but like I said, small gripe. After Nakamura coughed up his testicles, AJ Styles got into the ring and springboarded a phenomenal forearm that took them both through the announce table. That was a real cool spot. Really well done. And that was enough. Styles got up at the count of 7. Nakamura could not answer the 10 count, so AJ Styles retains the WWE Championship. I really wanted Nakamura here to win.
I thought he was going to. The fact that they left, that Styles has not worked in the ring for so long.
Yeah.
Like, I was really thinking, like, he might, like, have a Dalton Castle type of injury, and they might need to take this title off him for a while, and he might need to be, off TV for a bit to go heal up for whatever he had. But clearly, the 3+ weeks that he was, not wrestling, did his body good, and he put on a hell of a match, and it's all roads to Extreme Rules now with him and Rusev.
Yeah,
which I just want to say I'm very surprised.
Yeah.
I would have bet dollars to donuts that Miz was winning. That when it came down to Miz and Rusev, I was like, there ain't no way they're gonna let Rusev beat Miz. But I was very happy to be wrong.
Yeah.
And it's about damn time that dude gets recognized for all the hard work he's been putting in lately.
Yeah, I'm so happy he's going to get a WWE Championship match here at Extreme Rules. Obviously, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but I want to say one more thing. I'm afraid the guy that's going to tag with Daniel Bryan to take on the Bludgeon Brothers is going to be Miz.
Yeah, I think it's going to be too, and I think it's going to be a forced team up. Like Paige is going to make them do it or something.
Yep, and then they'll fight at SummerSlam. But yeah, that's WWE likes to do that.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a guy named Phil that might want to do something. Team up with Bryan. Yeah.
Not in WWE, you won't.
Yeah, I know. I like the Cassius Ohno idea.
Yeah, I think that would be great. I even suggested Rey Mysterio maybe.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. Ohno that'd be a great way to introduce him, bring him in. Yeah, we'll see, but I'm afraid it's going to be the old hated rivals on the same team. But such is life. Speaking of such is life, anybody that's hating on Ronda Rousey now can shut the fuck up, right, Matt?
Jeez, dude, anybody who was still hating her after WrestleMania needed to shut the fuck up.
True.
But now they really need to shut the fuck up.
Her and Nia also. Nia put on a hell of a match with her too. It was weird because you got two completely different structures of Nia being so much bigger than Ronda, and Ronda not really. Obviously Nia's wrestled smaller opponents, but Nia, we've never seen her with a bigger opponent. So it was a really big unknown going into it, and these two worked so well together. And man, I loved Nia's reaction when Ronda unclasped the hands and had that armbar ready. Nia's reaction was just great. I loved it.
Yeah, because she'd already been in it before.
Mm-hmm.
From the setup on Monday, so she knew what she was getting into. So,
but
Little Miss Overpush Bliss comes out and ruins everything.
Clocks Ronda in the back with the briefcase, causing the DQ, and she works over Ronda a little more, throws her over the announce table, and then she works on Nia, and then cashes in her Money in the Bank. And for those that are wondering, the third fastest cash in Money in the Bank history. I can't remember who the other. I know one's Kane against Rey Mysterio.
I would assume Dean would be the other.
Yeah, possibly.
Because those are the only other two people I could recall that cashed in on the same night.
I've got the graphic on my phone. I know Kane is like a hair under an hour. Oh no,
Kane cashed in. Kane cashed in on Mysterio.
Yeah,
Dean cashed in on Rollins.
Yep, Kane has the record.
Both same night.
Kane has the record at 50 minutes 56 seconds. Dean Ambrose 56 minutes 39 seconds in 2016. Kane was in 2010, and then Alexa Bliss at an hour, 59 minutes, and 43 seconds for your three fastest cash-ins of all time. Has there ever been a cash-in that's gone down to the final day? I don't think there has there?
No.
That's maybe the next step they need to do, but I don't think they're going to do that with Braun, so we'll have to table that for you.
Braun's cashing in at SummerSlam.
So
whoever Brock faces, Brock's going to beat, and then Braun's going to come out and cash in and beat him.
No, we all know who Braun. Who I don't like the idea, especially if it's Roman and Brock, because we did that at 31. Roman and Brock had a one-on-one match, and Seth comes running in.
Yeah, but that was still mid-match. I don't think it's going to be mid-match. I think Braun's going to cash in after Brock beats Roman.
I know, it's still the same type of situation, though. Same two
Not
guys.
technically. Because that other match never had a finish.
Yeah. What is he going to do to have
Look,
Lesnar
I'd much rather see Lashley and Brock, but we're not going to get it.
No.
They have not done a good enough job with Lashley since he's been here for me to believe that they're going to put him in a position to face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Yeah. I just don't believe it.
They are doing better. I thought they
made a massive step forward on Raw Monday.
Yes, they did.
But it's not, to me, it's too little too late with SummerSlam being this close. I don't think you can do enough build with him in this little time to get the SummerSlam. Survivor Series, maybe, but fucking A, we're not waiting that long. I want Brock to drop that damn title in August, and like I said, if we never see Brock again,
I'm good
with that.
I want to see Braun Strowman travel up to Canada, go to Lesnar's farm, and cash it in there.
That would be funny as hell.
That would be.
Hey, Brock would go for it, though.
What did you think of the men Money in the Bank ladder match? I was damn surprised by the winner.
Yeah, did not expect anybody from Raw to get that.
And Kevin Owens fall from the ladder. Holy fuck.
Yeah, the fact that he wrestled the next night after that dude's crazy.
Yeah. I
really thought Miz was going to get the case. I really did. I wanted Joe, but I thought Miz. And yeah, I was very surprised with the way that they went, because I figured we were going to eventually, since AJ retained, we were going to probably get like Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles at SummerSlam, and Bryan was going to win and Miz would cash in, or they would pull some shit like that and reignite the Miz Bryan feud. But yeah, they didn't go that route. So
yeah. Braun really doesn't need a contract to cash in, but I mean, it'll be, if your plan comes to fruition, it'll be a great close to the show. People are the Brooklyn's going to go nuts, and we all want Strowman as champion, so Bria, I was a little disappointed Big E wasn't in this match, but I was happy that he was in the gauntlet match, because he showed why he should have been in the ladder match on SmackDown.
Oh yeah, him and Bryan had a great start to the gauntlet on Tuesday. And I love Kofi. Like, don't get me wrong, but the dude has been in so many Money in the Bank matches already, and to me, he didn't do anything this time that stood out as a memorable Kofi Kingston moment like he normally does.
Well, the most memorable moment was when he was Braun Strowman's backpack.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's nothing like when he used the ladder that was broken in half and used them as stilts.
Yeah, that was cool.
To try to go up there and get stuff like that. I mean, those are the great moments that Kofi normally creates in matches like this, and we just didn't get anything from him on Sunday. I really wanted Big E to get that opportunity, but it is what it is.
Well, he showed everybody something on SmackDown, at least. So
I would surely like to think management, if they didn't realize it already, I would like to think that their eyes were opened on Tuesday with the bout him and Bryan had.
Rusev trying a 3-man accolade, that was pretty funny. He didn't quite get to lock it in because Joe came in with the coquina clutch. Balor hitting coup de grace off top of the ladder on Rude. I bet that felt great.
Yeah, I bet.
And then, of course, as we said, somehow, well, not somehow, we know how freakishly strong Strowman is. Climbs the ladder with Kofi Kingston on his back. That was pretty badass. And he shakes Kofi off, and then it was down to him and Balor, who are now buddies, because he stood up for his buddy on Raw. But we got Mr. Monster in the Bank. Really good pay-per-view, really enjoyable pay-per-view. I thought it was pretty solid. I would put it up there as one of the best of the year so far in terms of WWE. Some sad news that, of course, came down this morning. Former WCW and IWGP Heavyweight Champion Leon White, big fan Vader, passed away. His son confirmed on Twitter this morning that his father Leon had passed away Monday evening due to complications to pneumonia. His son put around a month ago, my father was diagnosed with a severe case of pneumonia. He fought extremely hard and was clinically making progress. Unfortunately, on Monday, his heart had enough, and it was his time. Big Van Vader, I mean, I grew up watching this guy. He was unlike anybody I'd seen. A big guy that could do some great aerial moves, and as a kid, obviously, having a smoking Mastodon helmet pretty much impressed you as a kid, right, Matt?
He was awesome, and he was well ahead of his time. News definitely hit me hard this morning. My friend sent me a text, and that was the first thing I saw, when I got up, was that text about Vader, and I was just like, fuck. That's how this day is going to go, huh? It's pretty much how I felt, and it was a real downer. Honestly, I was really psyched about recording tonight, and just the Vader news just kind of really deflated me, and I've kind of just been feeling it all day. I feel like the ones that I grew up on are the ones that hurt the most, and I definitely feel like I grew up on Vader, and it just, I wasn't prepared for this one, and you never are, but yeah, it sucks, and it hurt. So yeah.
Lots of people from all over the wrestling world, of course. Leon has touched a lot of people. A lot of people grew up watching him, and a lot of people enjoyed working with him. So obviously, all sorts of tributes from all the wrestlers. Iron Sheik, God bless Vader forever. Bruce Pritchard, sad to hear the passing of Leon White. Leon was so far ahead of his time, just like what Matt had said. I think one of the most impressive tributes for Leon was Mick Foley. Mick had put out on his Facebook page here just a few hours ago on Wednesday evening. I was preparing to fly out to Denver for an episode of Monday Night Raw in October 2016. My wife had called to tell me that Leon White had left a few messages on my answering machine. Figured he wanted to get together while WWE was in town. I got on my flight thinking I could catch up with him the next day. But the next day, my wife asked to call him again, telling me of the urgency in his voice and how it seemed to be very important. As it turned out, Leon wasn't calling to have lunch or to catch up or to hang out. He was calling me as a friend, telling me he had been diagnosed with congestive heart failure and had been given 2 years to live. On Monday night, 1 year and 8 months after telling me of his diagnosis, Leon White passed away, leaving behind him a loving son, a legacy as one of the very best big men to ever grace the ring. The very best, in my opinion, says Mick. And a great mystery as to why one of the biggest drawing cards of his era has yet to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. No matter how many times I've talked with Leon, the conversation would eventually turn to the Hall of Fame. I'd constantly tell him that no one or no thing, not even his absence from the Hall of Fame, could take away what he had accomplished around the world. He was quite simply one of the biggest stars our business had ever known. He worked hard, he worked injured. He brought out the very best in so many people he faced, including me. On a worldwide basis, he was so much bigger and meant so much more to our business than so many people who have gone on to receive far more accolades, including me, including just about everyone. A few years ago, I was honored to be asked by Leon to write the foreword for his book, and I did my very best to come up with something that was worthy of the man and his outstanding body of work. I said a lot of things I really felt needed to be said at the time. It probably needs to be repeated now more than ever. And so if you go to Mick Foley's Facebook page, at Real Mick Foley, he put copied the foreword that he wrote for Vader's book. What can you say about the man? I mean, not many people in this world have been a WCW World Champion and an IWGP Heavyweight Champion, have they, Matt?
No, and honestly, I wholeheartedly agree with Mick. One of my main sore points today has been about the fact that WWE knew this dude was sick.
Yeah, I mean, this is like Mick said, a year and eight months ago.
And the fact that they did not choose to get this man inducted into the Hall of Fame while he was still with us, so when we could actually get a speech from Vader while he was still with us, I feel like they should have learned their lesson after Randy Savage, and it's clear that they didn't, and they let this happen again. And it's very disheartening to know that eventually, Leon will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, and we're not going to get to hear his perspective and his words for the honor. And I just think it's a damn shame.
And if you've never watched recent things like Table for Three or the Steve Austin show, Steve Austin's podcast, I mean, Leon's a great storyteller, a great man, a real humble man, and it would have been nice to hear his words in the Hall of Fame. And I hope they don't put him in next year. I think that'd be just a slap in the face.
Yeah, don't you dare put him in next year. Honestly, I would use next year for my Hall of Fame would be ECW heavy next year.
Yeah.
Being in New York, New Jersey, I'd put in Heyman. I'd put in Taz. I'd put in Rob Van Dam. And then I'd fill it out with a couple other people. But my Hall of Fame next year would be very heavily influenced by ECW. And I think if WWE does not go that route, it's a huge mistake. And they already made a huge mistake by not putting Vader in the Hall of Fame already. So, hell, might as well make another mistake next year, WWE.
In All Japan Pro Wrestling, he was the World Tag Team Champion once with Dr. Death Steve Williams.
Can you imagine trying to fight that tag team?
Yeah. Like two scrawny jobbers looking at those guys. Nope. A couple of James Ellsworths facing those guys.
Oh, God. They wouldn't survive.
As we mentioned, IWGP Heavyweight Champion a total of 3 times. Tag Champion with Bam Bam Bigelow. And that's another team you don't want to face. Pro Wrestling Illustrated named him Wrestler of the Year in 1993. PWI 500 ranked him at number 2 in the top 500 singles in 93. Then in the World Championship Wrestling, he was the U.S. champion once and was the World Heavyweight Champion a total of 3 times. So many great matches, and I'm sure there will be a collection set up on the network eventually, and go watch it. There are some classics with Sting. Just to off top, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of other ones that I'm forgetting right now, but Sting, this feud with Sting is right on the top for me in the WCW days. I don't know what stands out for you with Vader in his feuds back in the day.
His WCW run was easily the most memorable. Mm-hmm. With Cactus, with Sting, with Flair, with Ron Simmons. He just had countless great matches in WCW. I don't feel like he was ever properly used in WWF.
No.
When he was brought over, I don't think Vince understood the man they call Vader, as WWF liked to call him, and in how to properly use him as he needed to be used.
His only accolade in the WWF was a slammy for assaulting Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, how is that not pathetic? Mm-hmm. That they couldn't get more out of a guy like Vader.
Back when Meltzer wasn't just giving them away, he gave Vader a 5-star match in 91 for a match at the G1 Climax in 1991.
Oh, what a surprise. It was in Japan.
Yeah. What a surprise.
Meltzer and his Japan boner.
Let's go to some happier news, Matt. Just announced yesterday, out of nowhere, WWE has released Big Cass. And did not even wish him well in his future endeavors. Bye,
Big Ass.
Cass came to the WWE in 2011 at FCW. Obviously, he teamed with Enzo Amore. They became popular. They added Carmella. We're pretty much on a rocket straight to the top. And then that rocket exploded, didn't it?
Pretty much.
I mean, was it the split that just basically screwed it all up, or did they see the writing on the wall with these two guys?
They should have never split these two up to begin with.
Or did they split them up because they knew that they were really, I don't know, like trouble? I don't know. I guess this is the first I'd ever heard Cass really. We heard a lot of stories about him.
You've seen the reasonings behind his release, though, right?
Yeah, I got that coming up here in a little bit.
Okay, I figure we should roll right into that. I don't think we should jump away from the topic. You might as well just roll down why he was released.
Right.
This is why I don't feel. And honestly, people are like, "How dare you celebrate somebody being released and losing their job?" Listen to why this dude got released. Why the fuck should I feel bad for him?
Ryan Satin at Pro Wrestling Sheet yesterday learned that it wasn't one reason that he was fired, but a mix of multiple things is what he called it. Most notably on the European tour. Of course, we've talked about this before with the segment involving little Daniel Bryan, where Cass went against a direct no from Vince McMahon, and basically he wanted to beat up the little guy, and Vince said no, one boot, and that's it. Cass went against that. That's where things went south. Big Cass apparently was drinking on the European tour and had attitude issues. Also was intoxicated in public, was one of the reasons why he was fired. Multiple sources say that it rubbed people the wrong way when it happened in private. However, on a WWE bus chauffeuring talent, the bathroom lock was apparently broken on the bus. Cass didn't realize it and thought he was being pranked. And after being stuck inside for too long, he broke down the door, which means anybody that had to use the shitter afterwards had to use it without a door.
It's just terrible.
Ryan also said that this, in addition to a couple other unverified incidents that he's working to confirm. I have not heard of these other ones yet. Have you, Matt?
Nothing yet, but I'm sure they'll be out before the week is over.
A couple more incidents seem to be the final straw. Didn't even wish him well in his future endeavors, so yeah.
I was told that he was told he had a meeting with Vince McMahon yesterday at the tapings. I heard that the meeting lasted less than 3 minutes, and that he was given his marching papers.
Yeah.
Like this came straight from Vinnie Mac.
Yeah.
Because you can't blame Trips. Trips was in the UK.
We're letting you go, pal. Yeah. WWE announces that finally we're going to get the launch of the UK series. Of course, we knew with Johnny Saint being named as the GM, it was not too far coming. And yes, NXT UK is going to be starting some tapings very soon. Tickets for these will begin going on sale next Friday, June 29th. The initial tapings will happen over July 28th and 29th in Cambridge. There are also some tapings at the end of August in Birmingham, middle of October in Plymouth Pavilions, and at the end of November in Liverpool. I think tagging the NXT brand is a great thing. I think it's going to add value to the product. We already know the value. We know the value, but a lot of the casual people may not know the value. I think they're really building this thing up to really take off overseas, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. And it's more content for the WWE Network, so I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Honestly, what I would love to see them do, and they haven't announced when the stuff's going to air yet, but what I would love for them to do, I would love for them Wednesday nights, NXT at 8, NXT UK at 9. And you get like a 2-hour NXT block weekly, but with like, 2 different rosters of talent. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. Looking forward to next week's big UK thing. Of course, WWE spoiled something there.
You think?
I guess we'll talk about it since WWE spoiled it. Undisputed Era is no longer the tag champions, are they?
This can't be for long.
No, because I think still War Raiders and Undisputed Era are in a collision course. But Mustache Mountain, Trent Seven, Tyler Bate, they are your new NXT Tag Team Champions.
And the fact that this was done no more than about 15 minutes after WWE released Big Cass, yeah. I feel like this was almost done as a diversion to distract social media.
That's a good point.
Talking about the release.
That's a good
WWE
point.
was really, really quick about trumpeting out this spoiler about the tag title change, which would, wrestling social media, they're like squirrel, quickly change their talking point from Big Ass being released to, hey, we got new NXT Tag Team Champions.
Yeah.
Where there's smoke, there's fire, my friend.
That's a good point, sir.
I have them every now and then.
And by the way, the thing I was excited about that you didn't want to be spoiled upon, that was not it. So.
Well, no, of course not, because you're talking about night 1. But I saw a lot of the matches from night 2, so I kind of already can figure what you meant about night 1, so it's not that big of a deal.
I just knew it'd make you happy.
It would have been a bigger deal if that would have been the title change that night, but it was not.
True.
I much rather would have had that.
I'll tell you what,
that
though.
Would have made me happy.
Oh, yeah. I would have heard about it, too.
yes, you would have.
Yes. Oh, my God. This was... If you did not see this yet, go to Up, Up, Down, Down and rewatch or watch this, because the Elite and the New Day Street Fighter V battle, this was so fucking fun to watch, wasn't it, Matt?
Dude, I don't normally watch competitive gaming, but I'll just say this was probably one of the most entertaining hours of video game competition that I've ever had the pleasure of watching. Very much loved this.
I'm a Street Fighter player, but I never got 5 because everybody was like, But by the time
I hear it's a lot better now.
Yeah.
But I know when it launched, people were not happy with it.
When the arcade edition came out, so I bought the arcade edition. I've got myself a fancy joystick thingy there.
One of the fight sticks like Kenny was using.
Yeah, I've got a Street Fighter 4 one. I paid $130 for or something. I don't know if it's got the Sanwa buttons and joystick. Sanwa's basically straight from the arcades.
Yeah.
They use Sanwa parts. But it's nice, and it needs more use. And I was like, I got so pumped watching this. I'm like, yeah, I went out and because on PS4.
Hey, Capcom, did their job then.
They did. PS4 had their E3 sale, and the arcade edition was on sale for $23. So
that's not bad at all.
No, so because you get I think you get a whole season's worth of add-ons or whatever that came with it. I can't remember the details, but yeah, I was so motivated. I'm like, yeah. I looked it up. I'm like, oh, the reviews for the arcade edition are pretty good. Okay, so I snatched it up, and first off, it was the Elite against the New Day. The first match was Kofi Kingston beating Nick Jackson. And we thought we were getting Omega and Creed in the middle, but Creed gave a little swerve, didn't he, Matt?
Yeah, put in Jobber E into the match.
He fed Big E to Kenny O. I mean, literally, that was feeding. He
really did.
Kenny Omega ate him for lunch.
Well, I love Big E, but he's no gamer. He very much proved that in that match.
But that was a smart tactic by Xavier.
Yeah.
Once Kofi beat Nick, because he knew that he could beat Matt. But
and Kofi's also a gamer. I felt like felt like the odds were against the Elite from the beginning in the 3-on-3 because I was just like, the Bucks aren't really gamers. So I was just like, and I know Kofi and Woods are, and you know, and I knew Big E was kind of like the weak link, and like they would have been much better. Like the Elite overall would have been much better off if one of them would have been facing Big E. Like if Matt Jackson would have faced Big E, like they might have actually had a chance of, you know, winning that entire thing.
Yeah.
But
and we thought, oh, okay, that's it. But no, we should have known better. We got the Elite and we got the New Day in the same room. That means we have Omega and Woods in the same room. We ain't going home without Creed and Omega, are we, Matt?
I was surely hoping not.
Yeah. So they had a 1-to-5 match, which means the first man to win 5 matches, and to win a match, you got to go 2 out of 3. And this was an epic battle that went all the way down to the end, 4-4. The match to do it all, and Kenny Omega bested Xavier Woods. And on the line was a bet. The losing team had to eat habanero peppers. So Xavier Woods said, you know, this is on me, boys. I'm going to eat all your peppers. And he paid for it on the shitter afterwards, as he put on Instagram. Basically, to put it nicely, it was coming out of both ends, is what he was saying. But then Kenny Omega said, "You can't one-up me. You're winning over the crowd with your habanero peppers, so I'm gonna eat one."
Yeah, he shouldn't have done. He should have done that.
Yeah, that was. But and then the host even got a super kick. That was kind of funny.
Dude, there's no way I'd eat one of those.
He took a good bump too, like down the stairs and onto the floor. Old Tasty Steve took a nice bump.
Would you eat a habanero pepper?
Fuck no.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't either. And the fact that Woods ate 2 of them and almost ate a third, just like, no fucking way.
I don't even go for the medium salsa. I go mild, baby.
Though, don't get me wrong, I like a good flavor, but I don't like that kind of flavor. Not a flavor that's going to kill my insides. Thank you very much.
Not a flavor that's going to make you poo fire later on.
Yeah, because you could tell by it didn't seem like it was that bad when they were chewing it. You know, it seemed like once they swallowed it is when they started, you know, seemingly having all the problems.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, there's no way me with a history of heartburn, acid reflux problems would ever eat a habanero pepper, because I'd probably die.
Oh, shit, don't even think about acid reflux. You're going to have ass reflux.
Yeah.
But please go and watch this. You will not be disappointed. It was fun. It was entertaining. It was everything we hoped it would be. And Xavier Woods put a lengthy post on his Twitter, a little screenshot of a message, since it doesn't even fit the 280 characters now that Twitter gives you. He said, "I started my YouTube channel Up Up Down Down in order to have a creative outlet that was my own, where I had the ability to create something that was mine. For the past 3 years, you all have watched videos, laughed with me, cried with me, made fun of me, and most importantly, had a good time with me. Every day, my amazing team works hard to bring you the most ridiculous and fun content that we possibly can. Yesterday, we did something that no one thought we could ever do. We pulled off the impossible, and I couldn't have been more proud of everyone involved. Yes, the rivalry between Kenny and myself was our story, but the larger picture was to shine a spotlight on our fighting game community. This group of guys and girls live this life all year long. They're an amazing group of people, and we wanted to show the world what they're missing if they aren't keeping an eye on them. Yesterday was an example of how entertaining esports can be, so find your local tournament scene and support them. Thank you to everyone who's come along for this wild ride." And I think the consensus was among the 6 guys that they would love to be in the same company someday, somewhere down the road. So I would love a world where Woods and Omega are in the same company. I would love a world with Omega and a lot of people in the same company, though, I guess you could say. Let's continue the gaming theme from one gamer to another. AJ Styles is a big gamer, and he has been named the cover superstar for WWE 2K19. Since I think ever, is this the first time a guy that was not grown from the WWE has been on the cover of a WWE game?
Oh man, you're gonna make me think about this.
Oh, I know the 2K series.
Okay, if we're going 2K series, absolutely. I really don't want to try to think that far back. There have been so many different covers over the years. I was not prepared for that question.
There's a WWE article from like 3 or 4 years ago. It's old, but it gets into the 2K series. It shows every cover of every video game going all the way back to the 80s. And I looked through them all until I got to the 2K. I seriously think this is the first time a guy that was grown in a different company, a competing company, is on the cover. There's guys that have been in other companies, like Lashley's been, but he was grown in the WWE to start. So, I think it's pretty interesting. But great choice for the cover athlete, though, huh, Matt?
Oh no, absolutely. I don't think you could have picked somebody better.
2K18 was okay, but again, they have still yet to capture my attention for a lengthy time period with that game. Same with you?
Yeah, the 2K series is not what WWE games used to be. And I haven't had an extended fun period with a WWE game since quote-unquote WWE 2K14, which really wasn't a 2K game at all. It was really the last WWE game we got from THQ under the 2K umbrella, but it was really a THQ game.
Yeah.
Everything since has been, 2K15 and on has been 2K's production side, and I don't get the replay value out of these games that I used to get. Like, I used to be able to sit down with these games and play them for, nonstop for an entire year until the next game came out. And these games, they maybe last me like a month and a half, and I'm just like, I don't want to play it anymore. It's because the gameplay is just not fun anymore. They strive so hard to try to be simulation, to quote unquote imitate the real WWE product. Well, look, I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. The real WWE product isn't fun to play in a video game. The arcade game style from back in the day that THQ had in the SmackDown versus Raw series all the way up to WWE 2K14, that was fun to play. This stuff, I don't know. I feel like playing the matches feels like more of a chore than an enjoyment process now. And the whole 5-star meter bullshit, especially in the My Career and stuff, takes away from the enjoyment too. You can't just wrestle the match the way you want to wrestle the match and then win and move on. Oh no, one of the clearing things, you have to have 5 stars, so you have to keep doing all this stupid shit that you normally wouldn't do to extend the match, and it's a tedious, boring method, and it's not entertaining, it's not fun. Look, I know I'm going to buy 2K19. I buy the WWE games every year. But if you think I'm going to pre-order it right now, right here in the middle of June, it's not happening. I don't care. I'll pre-order it like a week before the damn game comes out so I can get it a couple of days early and get the pre-order bonus. I'm not, you're not getting my money early, just because your game's announced and you put AJ Styles on the cover. And you're gonna have some rigged contest for one of your pals to win $1 million. It's just no. I'm not falling for this. I'm not buying it. And
So you're saying the contest is rigged?
Oh, dude, there's no way that contest isn't rigged. There's no way. They're gonna rig it. They're gonna rig it.
The $1 million challenge is you got to beat a new mode that has yet to be announced. then you got to submit a promotional video set that shows why you would beat AJ Styles in 2K19. Then you got to make it to the semifinal round of competition and beat the other 3 semifinalists in 2K19. And then if you are the finalist, you go one-on-one with AJ Styles and defeat him to win $1 million.
And I guarantee you at least half of these 4 people are going to be YouTube personalities. This is not just going to be 4 nobody's ever heard of, because that's not the way 2K does things. I guarantee you at least 2 out of the 4, if not all 4, are going to be WWE Games YouTube personalities that get flown out to do this thing. So if you're really thinking you have a chance to win $1 million in this contest, it's not happening. There's just not. It's just not. Don't even kid yourself. I want nothing more than 2K19 to be a fun, awesome game with a ton of replay value. But we've had 4 years of 2K between 15, 16, 17, and 18 already that tell me that their track record says 2K19 ain't going to be any different.
No.
And it's just going to be, the same old lack of replay value that we've had the last 4 years. And I'm telling you right now, we didn't get it last year. But
online universe?
No, I feel this is the year that we're going to get microtransaction from hell.
Oh.
Like they do in NBA 2K. And if you think that your audience doesn't already hate 2K enough for what they've done to this franchise, wait to see the uproar that they get when they announce the microtransactions are in 2K19.
Do they not learn the lesson that EA learned with Battlefront, and how they have continued to learn that lesson by not even offering season passes anymore, where everything in Battlefield 5 is going to be free?
Not even having loot boxes in Anthem.
Yeah.
EA has learned from their mistakes. 2K doesn't learn from their mistakes, and they repeat them constantly, year after year after year after year. And I don't feel like this year is going to be any different. 2K, if you're listening, prove me wrong. I want to be proven wrong. I want a great game more than anything in the world. I love wrestling video games. This is the only option we have until you guys finally let Ukes go so they can make a New Japan game for me. Let this game be fun. Let this be the game that we've waited forever for. Please don't give us another steaming pile of lack of replay crap this year, please.
Minor breaking news. I think it's breaking news. I'm not sure. But Best in the World, ROH Television Championship match between Punishment Martinez and Adam Page is going to be a Baltimore street fight.
I'm pretty sure it's always scheduled to be a Baltimore street fight, just now the TV title's on the line.
Yeah. And this is not breaking news. This came out earlier today, but Austin Aries is going to be at Best in the World as well.
Thank God. Don't know what he's going to do. I'm just happy he's going to be there.
And continuing with Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor was originally going to have their debut event at Madison Square Garden, but Mike Johnson, in an exclusive with PW Insider, interviewing the COO of ROH, Joe Koff. And Koff says, I'm not going to discuss beyond the statement because I'm not going to litigate this in the press. We had a deal with MSG, and they told us they're backing out after communications with WWE. We're not able to get any other dates and any kind of discussion. I'm expecting that our lawyers will be contacting all parties involved, and the best we can hope for is to find a resolution so we can bring the kind of energy and excitement that ROH and our partner New Japan have to a bigger audience and bigger arenas in New York City.
Scumball move by WWE. Honestly, It would be one thing if WWE was still running pay-per-views and Raws and SmackDowns in that building, but they haven't run a TV or pay-per-view event in Madison Square Garden in years because they just whine that the venue's too expensive to do television there. So if you feel that way and all you're going to do is run stupid house shows there every year, that really, let's face it, nobody fucking cares about. Nobody cares about a fucking WWE live event house show. It doesn't matter if it's in Madison Square Garden or bumfucked Egypt. If that's all you're going to do, let Madison Square Garden put other pro wrestling in there. Don't be a little bitch just because you don't want to fork out the money to bring pay-per-views and Raws and SmackDowns to Madison Square Garden anymore because it's too much money and Barclays is cheaper. It's just it's ridiculous. And
it's Vince being petty because no other company has ran at MSG going all the way back to 1925.
Yeah, it's super petty, man.
But yeah, AAA is scheduled in the fall, so I wonder if that gets canceled now magically.
Well, we haven't heard from AAA since ROH got canceled. I would be led to believe that they have been canceled as well.
Man, be interesting how that'll work out in the court.
Well, I guess only time will tell.
Some All-In news. Twitter account posted tonight on Wednesday evening that they have confirmed that they have decided in favor of licensing production. So 100%, this event will be broadcasted in some capacity. We want as many people to see it as possible. Details in the coming weeks. Those are words from Cody, Matt, and Nick.
Please just put it on Honor Club.
Yep. Or Twitch. Either way. Honor Club, we paid for it, we got it, so we get to see it. Twitch, everybody can see it. So, I don't know, that almost sounded like a Twitch thing, the way they said it. We want as many people to see it as possible. But, hey, that sells Honor Club, too, if All In's on Honor Club. So, ratings for the week. Impact Wrestling falls again, down to 276,000. They are starting to lose that momentum that they had in the spring. Total Bellas, though, is not losing momentum. It continued its great ratings trend. Second straight week over 700,000 viewers, 726,000 to be exact. Last week was the second highest rated show in the history of the show. This week was the third highest in the history. So they are definitely bounced back in the ratings after a real poor start. Money in the Bank saw increases in Raw and SmackDown. Raw saw almost a 200,000 person jump. Still under 3 million though for the overall, and the first hour barely cracked over 3 million people before falling off in the third hour to 2.7. For the night, Raw ended at 2.9 million. SmackDown saw a sizable bounces back as well, up 150,000 people to 2.3 million. That is SmackDown's highest mark since the first week of May. How about this for a tag team for you, Matt? Ryback and Jerry Lawler.
I got nothing.
Yeah, me either. When I saw that, I'm like, yeah, they're going to be... Eternal Con is the name of the show. They're going to be in a tag match. Hey, and your boy Enzo Amore is going to be there too. He's probably going to be rapping.
Yeah, too bad he didn't try to patch things out with Cass, because if those two could get on the same page again, they could make a killing together on the indie scene.
Oh yeah.
If they're going and doing it together instead of trying to go at it separately, if those two actually reconciled whatever issues they had and buried them.
Did they have legit issues?
According to the podcast Enzo did about a week or two ago, yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I would feel like if they could reconcile and they could bury the hatchet on whatever their issues are that they have, the two of them together could make a killing on the indie scene for a while. Running as a duo act. So
The Rock put on Instagram a little picture of him sitting around a table, a little meeting, as they have officially gotten stuff going on for the Jumanji sequel. So that's officially underway. I did finally watch Jumanji a couple weeks ago, and yes, I enjoyed it a lot. So good stuff. And I'm looking forward to Skyscraper too. Hopefully that.
Yeah, it looks good.
Hopefully that'll be good.
I just saw Rampage recently. It was very good.
have not seen that.
It was a very, very fun popcorn flick type of movie. I thought it was very enjoyable.
WWE announced the other day that they are going to do a super show in Australia October 6th. This kind of just sounds to me kind of just like what they did with Greatest Royal Rumble and such.
Yeah, I'm not being fooled again.
What do you mean?
Like I'm not expecting anything other than a glorified house show.
Oh, you're not being fooled like what you saw at the Rumble.
Yeah, like I expected we were actually going to get a title change. You know, I thought Roman was going to beat Brock. You know, well, he did.
Oh, he did. He did.
But you know, I actually thought he was actually going to get the championship for real. But yeah, it was the Greatest Royal Rumble turned out to just be a glorified house show. So I'm not going to.
It was a cool spectacle to watch, though.
Yeah, but if I
nothing to write home about.
Knowing for sure that it was going to be a glorified house show, I wouldn't have went into it with as much hype that I had. So, like, I'm expecting. I'm expecting the same with this one. I'm not going to go into this expecting anything more than a glorified house show, and I feel I'll end up enjoying it a lot more that way.
It'll be cool to see the Australia pop for the Iconics, though.
Oh, I'm sure they'll get a huge pop.
PW Insider has confirmed that Dean Ambrose is in Orlando, Florida over the past week, working on rehabilitating his triceps tear. No word if he was in the ring or just simply doing physical therapy, but he is at the Performance Center. Timelines put him out for 9 months, and that would put him back in September. So maybe he's ahead of schedule. Maybe. If not, September is an okay time for him to come back, maybe reunite the Shield for the run that they were supposed to have. As I think we mentioned on the show, but we did talk about Best in the World here. New television champion was crowned out of nowhere, huh, Matt?
Yeah, certainly didn't see that coming.
It was... where'd it go? Oh, there we go. Punishment Martinez took on Silas Young for the television championship and defeated him. So that makes the match with Hangman Page for the TV title, and now it's a Baltimore Street fight. There was a proving ground match, I think, to get the title shot, and then that Punishment defeated some people for Orr. So there you go. That'd be cool if Hangman Page wins that, though, at Best in the World. He deserves a singles title.
I absolutely agree. I hope it happens. We'll find out in, less than a week and a half now.
In a completely atrocious story after Money in the Bank, a fan had decided to assault Paige while she was saying hi to fans in her rental car. Hopefully that guy was caught. I have not heard any updates yet.
Neither have I, but that scumbag belongs in jail.
Yeah. We have our blocks set up for the G1 Climax tournament. The field was announced on Monday. Block A is going to feature Evil, Bad Luck Fale, Big Mike Elgin, Maccabi, Okada, Hangman Page, Suzuki, Tanahashi, Jay White, and Yoshihashi. Block B will feature Hiroki Goto, Kota Ibushi, Tomohiro Ishii, Naito, Kenny Omega, Juice Robinson, Zack Sabre Jr., Sonata, Tama Tonga, and Toru Yano. So at some point, Omega and Ibushi have to fight, huh?
Yep, that's the way the G1 Climax works.
Yep. That's going to be a fun one to follow. I can't wait. If you ever needed more proof that the breakup between John Cena and Nikki Bella was a work, just watch Total Bellas. The mid-season finale was this week. Yeah, you'll realize it was all for the show. Matt, have you ever watched any Women of Wrestling, WOW?
Way back in the day, not the current incarnation of what it is, but way back in the day, I saw some Wow Women of Wrestling. I think it's the same brand, but it's owned by different people now, and it's a new roster, and and all that.
Kind of like what MLW did.
Yeah.
I've got an old 4 DVD set of, I don't know where I got it or how I got it, but I have an old 4 DVD set of WoW. But they're gonna appear, make a debut on Access TV. They announced that starting in 2019 they will start airing the Women of Wrestling. So even more wrestling choices for you to partake in, Matt. That's even though we have no time at all, right?
Yeah, I feel like we're on wrestling overload already. But look, I'm not going to fault the first all women's promotion from getting national television exposure. Good for them. I think that's a great thing.
And if you're a fan of Being the Elite, which I need to be, I've yet to watch. I need to get on that.
Jobber.
The New Day appeared on Being in the Elite. How was that episode, Matt?
It was great. Being the Elite's always great. And honestly, if you're a fan of the Bullet Club and you're not watching Being the Elite, you're missing out on key storylines and progression of everything that's going on, because a lot of that occurs on these shows. And if you're not watching weekly, you're not getting the full experience of the Bullet Club and the storylines that they're trying to tell.
For 10 years, ESPN has had a body issue where basically people pose nude, and
tastefully,
no private parts shown here. And for the first year, for the 10-year anniversary, a WWE superstar will be featured, and it'll be Charlotte Flair, as Charlotte unveiled on Twitter yesterday. I guess unveiled would be the word to use, right? Of course, there is someone else in the WWE that has been in the body issue. That was Ronda Rousey a couple of years back as well. As Matt said, Sami Zayn is injured. That was why everything was pretty much a one-sided squash in 6 minutes at Money in the Bank. He's been working through an injury. Is going to take time off to address it. Was not disclosed what it was, but it sounds like he's going to Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, I think Birmingham, Alabama will be the one to diagnose what the injury is. Sometimes you just don't know until you go get checked out.
John Cena is named as a finalist for the ESPN Muhammad Ali Sports Humanitarian of the Year Award.
Let me vomit now.
Well, this is the celebrating the good stuff John Cena does, not the in-ring stuff that he uses his shovel for. But yeah, all the good stuff that John Cena does outside the WWE has earned him that nomination. Update on Rey Mysterio. LuchaCentral.com reported that Rey and WWE are currently negotiating a 3-year deal. I love it. And it's going to be a part-time deal. I would say probably with like kind of what you saw with Jericho.
Or Rob Van Dam.
Randy Orton nowadays.
Orton's not injured right now. He's not working a part-time deal. He's out hurt.
No, before that, he's had scheduled 2 months. He's working a lot less than. He's not hurt now, but his new deal is kind of more part-time than before. But 3-year deal with Ray, hey man, I mean, you saw him at the Rumble. I'm excited. Hey, let's talk Ring of Honor this week, because for once, my busy schedule, I actually had time to watch it. And when you throw LIJ and Bullet Club 10-man tag in the main event, that definitely gets you to watch, huh?
Well, I mean, yeah, Bullet Club. Everybody wants to see the Bullet Club right now, and you throw in one of New Japan's most popular acts with it. You know, it's gonna be some must-see TV.
So if you have Honor Club or access to Sinclair, go out of your way to watch that. Kenny King took on Chucky T in the opener, and then we had Shane Taylor, as we mentioned. He took on Josh Woods, and so just 3 matches, but that's because the last one took quite a while. So go out of your way to check that one out. I thought the stuff that the Bucks did with Evil and Bushi was pretty fun. That shit was pretty good. So So do you think? What do you think goes down for the Bullet Club at Best in the World? We'll do our predictions next week for sure. But
yeah, we shouldn't be talking about that this week. We should be going into the prediction zone next week.
MLW this week, we kicked it off with MVP Maxwell J. Friedman. This is my first look at Friedman in the ring. What did you think about the young and up and comer?
He's all right.
I like the character. He's got that down pretty good. So
he didn't blow me away or anything. He was fine. Yeah, I've seen a lot worse.
A guy that got released.
I mean, it's just somebody that he didn't blow me away or anything, but I thought he was fine.
And of course, MVP everywhere he goes, Sami Callihan is. So that basically is what happened there. The distractions from Callihan got Friedman the win. There's going to be a Battle Riot match coming up in July, I believe. Is that pay-per-view or what is that exactly?
I honestly don't know.
It's a 40-man match. It's not Royal Rumble. You can win by pinfall, submission,
or tossed. Yeah.
Yeah. The first 4 participants were announced for that. Jake Hager, you might know him as Jack Swagger back in the day. Barrington Hughes, he's a big motherfucker. Jimmy Yuta, who's a part of that team TBD, and Pentagon Jr. Those are your first 4 announced. And one of those 4 announced, Barrington Hughes, he's good buddies with Shane Strickland, the current MLW champion. Talked about how Shane's got that bounty over his head. Of course, someone tried to cash in on him outside of the MLW headquarters. Simon Gotch coming out. Apparently he offers anyone in the back that can last 5 minutes in the ring with him $250. Was it like last time he did that, was just anybody showed up, or was it any wrestler? Do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah, some big dude named Mike Perro came out, and that Scotch didn't look too happy about that, but Team Filthy cheated to win. Then the main event. Holy shit, the main event. Triple threat elimination match for the MLW Tag Team Championships. Dirty Blondes with Colonel Robert Parker, Team TBD, Jimmy Uda, Jason Cade, and the brothers, Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix. The Dirty Blondes got eliminated pretty quick, but once it got down to Team TBD and the Lucha Brothers, Matt, I don't think there was a moment where there was any lull in the action. Those fuckers didn't stop, did they?
No, it was pretty much balls to the wall for the entire thing.
And I've never seen the brothers, I've obviously seen a lot of these guys on Lucha Underground. Never seen them tagged together, so it's pretty cool to see that. And they are your new tag team champions, the Lucha Brothers. NXT this week was basically a recap show. They did show a graphic in the memory of Vader. And Dakota Kai took on Bianca Belair. What did you see out of this one here, Matt? Pretty good match?
Yeah, I thought it was all right. They didn't, I didn't really feel like either match on the show was just like, great stuff. Like they were. I thought both matches were just okay. This was a very filler show, and nothing really to me really stood out on this show tonight.
Yeah, the final match, the second of 2 matches ended NXT. That was War Raiders against the Mighty. So was this pretty much a squash then for the War Raiders?
No, it was back and forth for a while, but the War Raiders definitely got the dominant victory at the end. I wouldn't call it a squash. I call it more of what you saw between the Good Brothers and the Bludgeon Brothers on SmackDown Tuesday.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to watch NXT yet, but I assume the War Raiders got a nice Chicago pop.
Oh yeah, they definitely got a warm Chicago welcome.
Monday Night Raw this week, we kick it off with Alexa Bliss and her celebration. And that celebration was cut short by Ronda Rousey, who she didn't look too happy about the attack that Bliss put on her at Money in the Bank. Kurt Angle did his best to calm Ronda Rousey down, but it didn't work. And Rousey pushed Angle aside and went to town on Bliss. Angle tried to pull her off, and Ronda gave Angle a judo throw for his troubles. She then grabs the Money in the Bank briefcase, starts nailing Bliss with it, then starts nailing Angle with it, and then puts Bliss through a table. What a great fucking segment to start off Monday Night Raw, huh, Matt?
It was probably one of the best Raw openings we've had in a long time. It was very well done, and I loved every minute of it.
And the crowd was fired up for that segment too,
as they should be. It was a great segment. They treated it as such.
As a result of her actions, Kurt Angle said he had nothing else he could do, but he suspended Ronda Rousey for 30 days, and she left angrily. But I mean, hey, the way things played out, I guess it's kind of cool to have her. It's okay to have her off TV for a little bit, keep her away from things, and then bring her right back in after the suspension's over.
Yeah, and she's still gonna work. She's still gonna do all her house shows.
Yeah.
While she's gone, it's really a more storyline suspension than anything else. She's still gonna be on the road for the live events that she's scheduled for, and it's just smart to take her off of the product right now. If you're already doing Jax and Bliss at Extreme Rules, the Ronda Rousey hovering over that feud for the next month would just be kind of awkward. So it just makes sense for her to be gone for 30 days. We're gonna get Bliss and Ronda at SummerSlam, and I can't wait to see Ronda rip Bliss's arm out of her socket.
And she's double jointed too. They got back from commercial, and Renee Young tried to catch up to Ronda Rousey and asked her thoughts on the suspension. She goes, "The suspension is fine, but when she comes back, she's going to kick Alexa's pink-haired ass." I love that line.
It was awesome.
Seth Rollins comes out and says he is instituting his open challenge for the Intercontinental Championship, and out comes Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, and I thought,
please be Drew. Please be Drew.
Well, yeah, but I thought, Drew's going to be the Intercontinental Champion, isn't he? No, it was Ziggler, but still, I mean... And I
instantly lost any excitement I had about the match.
It was a damn good match, though.
I barely paid attention, to be perfectly honest. I was just waiting for Rollins to win.
He didn't.
Yeah,
what do you think about that?
Not happy about it.
Really? Well, yeah, because it should have just went on Elias if they were going to take it off of Rollins.
If you're going to take the title off Rollins, let Elias win it the night before, or let Drew be the one to get it.
Well, especially since Rollins,
after defending the title, is good as he's done it for all these months and the momentum he's had. For Seth to lose to Dolph, I lose to everybody Ziggler. Like, the momentum I felt Seth had as a chance to be the one to go up against Brock and dethrone him, it's out the window now. I mean, dude, you lost to Dolph Ziggler. You're not going to get in the ring and beat Brock Lesnar.
No.
They ruined it. Like, they absolutely ruined it.
Braun's going to dethrone him now, so that's pretty obvious. And then Seth cheated to win at Money in the Bank, so that gave Elias an out, which you thought, Elias gets his rematch and wins at Extreme Rules. Okay, here we go. But nope. It's interesting. I mean, at least they're putting a title on the group.
Yeah, it seems like Elias is going to be in the multi-man match.
Yeah, I bet.
Based on his little guitar promo in the third hour.
Obviously I'm on Dream Street, but I'm like, hey, Ziggler's got the IC belt. Let's put the Universal title on Drew. Have him beat Lesnar.
Not gonna happen.
Be great, but not gonna happen.
Yes, it would be great, but it's not gonna happen.
Bobby Roode beat Kurt Hawkins to make Hawkins' losing streak go to 204 now. Maybe he goes to 205 Live to try to break his streak.
Oh my.
What did you think about this little conversation with Strowman and Owens? Is this going to lead to a Strowman Owens match for the briefcase at Extreme Rules, or Owens was basically offering his services to Braun, and in return gets a title shot when Braun cashes in. Where do you see this going?
I have honestly no fucking clue. I really don't know. I don't know. Like, I would think Kevin Owens would just be involved in the multi-man match for the title shot at SummerSlam, but I mean, I guess he could be interlocked with Braun, and if that's the case, I kind of feel bad for KO, because he's just going to be fodder for Braun on the way to SummerSlam.
Yeah. What did you think of the B Team's imitation of the Deleter of Worlds?
Unbelievable.
It was wonderful, yes.
I just don't know why this match wasn't A, on the pay-per-view, and B, if it wasn't on the pay-per-view and you've already dubbed them the number one contenders, why this match just didn't happen on Raw last night. Like, it's really weird that they're stretching out that these guys are the number one contenders, and we go through a pay-per-view and the match doesn't happen, and we get the Raw and it still doesn't happen, and you're just like, is the B Team ever going to get this title shot? Or are they just going to be number one contenders for the next 6 months? Like, look, let's not even play. The tag team division on Raw right now is really, really not good.
And on SmackDown Live,
pretty bad.
And on SmackDown Live, it's really, really good.
I think the tag team division on SmackDown Live is pretty stacked, but creatively, I don't think it's very good on that side either. Like, creatively, I don't think the tag team division on SmackDown is very good at the moment.
But
the talent in the division is much better than what they have on Raw right now.
But you can open that creative door when you have Sanity feud with the Bludgeon Brothers, though. Not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's pretty far off since they didn't pull that trigger last night.
Yeah. White and Hardy deleted. Well, basically, yeah, they deleted Heath Slater and Rhino in about 4 minutes. That's about 2 minutes more than Heath Slater and Rhino have lasted lately, so I guess that's something, right? For about the 80th time, they reshowed the Ronda Rousey thing.
Didn't have a problem with it. They could have showed it 100 times.
Kurt Angle in his office with Constable Corbin, which is a dumb name. Just
the whole gimmick. The whole gimmick's dumb. Somebody on Twitter, I wish I could remember which one of you said it to me Monday night, but you're absolutely right that Constable Corbin is nothing more than the 2018 version of Corporate Kane. And you're 110% correct. And that's literally all he is right now. And he's even bald just like Kane too. You know, it's such a stupid storyline, and like I don't even know what to think about it. Like, I don't even know. Like, is this a good thing? Like, long term for Corbin, that they think he's good for this role, or is it a bad term thing for him that they think this is all he can do? Like, I'm really not sure if this storyline for him is supposed to be a punishment or a reward. I honestly can't tell yet.
Well, so, everything I ever hear is Vince is really high on him, so I think it's a reward. But I see your point. It could go either way. Look up Constable in the dictionary. It makes no sense. Yeah. They just did it because it sounded cool. Well, it doesn't really sound cool either.
No,
but to Vince, it sounded.
It doesn't sound cool at all.
To Vince, it sounded cool. So, Angle had Stephanie on the phone, so a little something there, and that's when he'll announce the multi-man match for Extreme Rules.
Well, he was supposed to. He said he was going to announce when Brock was going to defend the title again, and he never even told us. So, thanks, Kurt.
Yeah. And now they're playing it off as it's a corporate thing that they're not making Brock defend his title, which is
even stupider.
Yeah. Poor Chad Gable only got a 3-minute job to Jinder Mahal. They could do so much more with him.
Who you telling?
Yeah.
Him and Jordan really need to team back up. That would be a nice addition to this dwindling tag team division on Raw right now.
Yeah, except I'm afraid he's going to probably try to be at the 8 of Seth Rollins next week.
God, I hope not.
I told you that on Twitter on Monday. I have a bad feeling he's returning to help Seth Rollins against Drew and Dolph.
Oh God, I hope they don't do that. Why would you say that?
Because I know how Vince works sometimes.
Oh, that's terrible. If Seth gets stuck with a Jason Jordan feud this summer after all the good that he's done, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, that's stomach turning just to think about.
What'd you think about the whole Sasha Bailey thing on Monday?
About damn time.
Yep. I guess they're turning Sasha heel. That still hasn't really been established, but I don't know.
Bailey was the one that attacked her backstage.
Good point.
You know, who's supposed to really be the heel right now? Like it is not clearly defined.
And she did throw that cup at the car. That's a pretty heelish move. I mean, Banks could have probably incurred a fee from the rental company there.
Will you stop?
I was waiting for Gorilla there. I was goading the Gorilla, so to speak. The Jobber Squad defeated Banks and Bailey in a match where half of the match was in commercial. Kurt's big announcement. He was going to announce when Brock defends his title next. Well, we all know it's SummerSlam. He sure as hell ain't showing up at Extreme Rules. The big dog, Roman Reigns, came out, and then Bobby Lashley came out. And I think finally they're kind of getting around to booking Lashley a lot better, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm worried that due to the fact that he stumbled over a word or two in the promo, that they're going to be dicks about it. But, you know, overall it seemed like he was booked on Monday a hell of a lot better than he's been booked the entire time he's been back with the company. So
out of nowhere, the Revival come out, and Matt said it best on Twitter. I can't remember what you said exactly, but you said it best where, yep, they're going to die.
I pretty much said that it comes to Revival to get squashed by Reigns and Lashley.
Yeah. And that's what happened. Lashley tagged himself in and hit that awesome flip spear. It's
the first time he's used that since being back with the company.
Yep.
And the fact he used it right in front of Roman made my heart warm.
That was great. I love when Lashley did that some little bit of power move, and Roman's face reaction to what Lashley did, that was pretty fucking good too. Yeah, I was finally.
Roman's facial reactions are highly underrated. Yeah. He has great facial expressions. He always has.
Roman's highly underrated because everybody boos him, and they shouldn't. But oh well. Mojo Rawley defeated No Way Jose
in the bathroom break match.
Elias, I thought Elias's song was freaking good, man. I liked it. It was like a 3-minute song, no interruptions or anything, and I thought it was really solid. I thought it was pretty damn good. I don't know what you thought, Matt, but
honestly, I didn't pay attention to most of it.
Okay, well, you should have. Go back to YouTube.
I was still not paying attention after the No Way Jose Mojo Rawley match.
I like Mojo. I hope
you know how I feel about Mojo.
And in a segment that led backstage where Finn Balor was talking to KO and Corbin and
Kurt.
Apparently Kurt and Braun Strowman showed up to back up his buddy, which was kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see him kind of give respect to some people in his own way. But I thought the main event was pretty solid. It's pretty cool to see Braun and Finn work together. It's pretty cool to see Braun use Finn as a lawn dart.
My favorite part of that segment was, I don't remember the exact words, but they were getting heated between the four of them, and Kurt said something to the lines of, "I'm getting out of this train wreck." And just walked away, and I laughed. I'm like, that was fucking funny. So
that was exactly what he said.
Yeah, all right.
But in the end, I'll tell you what, Kevin Owens did a great job of selling that he got fuckered up the night before, and I'm not talking drunk. I'm talking falling off.
Well, question is, was he even selling?
Yeah.
Like that dude could be really banged up and hurt. So
that could have been legit. Props to the selling that Owens did, if it was selling. If not, still Owens is great.
Yeah,
so.
Owens is great either way.
Strowman got taken out through the barricade that opened up Corbin to land at the end of days on Finn Balor for the bad guys to get the win there. I was kind of surprised. I thought the good guys would get the win there, but that makes me think maybe the Constable Corbin thing is not a punishment and a reward where Corbin comes out.
We'll see long term.
True. Short term, he won a main event match on Monday Night Raw. So Monday Night Raw was okay. It was great hot start. I love the Ziggler Rollins match. They kind of got off the rails a little bit, and the main event kind of brought it back. SmackDown Live from basically top to bottom was just great, wasn't it?
I thought so.
I even think Carmella is even tolerable because James Ellsworth is back. I'll even go that far. I know you won't probably go that far, but I love me some
James Ellsworth was always the best part of her act. So him being back is definitely a plus benefit for her. And I think gaining James Ellsworth and losing Big Ass was an overall positive for SmackDown Live as a whole.
Big Ass. Yeah, I'm so glad. I'm just in terms of career-wise, I'm just so happy he's back in the WWE where he belongs there, man. I really enjoy him. Duh.
I never understood why they allowed him to leave after his contract expired to begin with. It just didn't really make any sense to me. But he's back now, so
he made a killing in the Indies, so I bet you during that time off. Ellsworth came out dressed as Asuka, just like he was at Money in the Bank, and he hyped how Carmella's better than Charlotte, Lita, Trish, Mother Teresa, Beyonce. It's kind of funny. Asuka comes out, and Ellsworth got in her face. You knew that means Ellsworth's getting the beat down, and he got a spin kick to the gut, but Carmella took advantage and hit a super kick on Asuka and grabbed the Chinless Wonder and bailed. Probably gonna lead to Extreme Rules. Gotta think Asuka wins the title there.
You would surely hope so.
The Iconics came out, and they're always charming on the microphone, aren't they, Matt?
No, they never fail to impress on the microphone.
Oh, I'm always entertained.
They're a very entertaining act, and they're easily hateable by people that don't like them, which means they're just doing their job, and that's great for them. So
they're trying to think of what to do in Toledo, Ohio, and Peyton said, "Oh, there's a zoo," and Billy's like, "Oh, that explains all the smelly people here." I love the Iconics. Billie Kay took on Becky Lynch in a 8-minute match. The numbers game took effect for a little while, but in the end, Lynch puts on the disarmer. I think it's just gonna be a matter of time with Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. I think a matter of time. I loved the Jeff Hardy promo. I thought it was dark and awesome, and it was pretty cool that it revealed this face paint in the end and that weird-ass contacts. But I thought overall that was a killer promo by Hardy. Matt, what did you think?
Oh, he's been wanting to wear the face paint since he got back, and he's worn it at several house shows, live events. But this is the first time he's been allowed to wear it on TV. So, yeah, I feel like Nakamura is headed straight to the United States Championship. If he loses to Jeff Hardy too, my God.
Whoa.
Like, dude, just wait for your contract to go up and go back to New Japan. Like, jeez. Like, at least let him win the runner-up title for crying out loud. If he can't get the title off of Hardy, dude, just Wait for your deal to be up and go back home.
Well, I'll give you a little consolation prize, Matt. Vince loves to put that title on foreigners.
Yeah.
So, Daniel Bryan was interviewed by Renee Young backstage, and Bryan already knew this, and Renee reiterated that Bryan will be the first person in the gauntlet match. How's he going to survive? And he mentioned how he survived for 70 minutes in the Greatest Royal Rumble. He said he has to face 3 of the best superstars SmackDown Live has, all in a row potentially. And Renee says, what about The Miz? And Bryan goes, I said 3 of the best superstars that SmackDown Live has to offer. And then Bryan got to interview Renee Young too. A great segment. Obviously, those two work well together. They had a lot of time on Talking Smack, which is a show we all dearly miss. But it's great to see Bryan back in this capacity and do interviews like this. I was highly entertained here, Matt.
Yeah, these two always work well together. It's not a surprise.
I don't think there was any better way to debut Sanity than to just have them kick the ass of the Usos before the bell could even ring. I think that was perfect. I was happy.
Yeah, no complaints.
And hopefully Nikki Cross and Naomi get involved. That'll really help it out. I don't know why the Good Brothers got a rematch, but hey, that's okay. This match was better than the kickoff show match. It was a little more back and forth, a little more believable. Still kind of short. 6 minutes. Bludgeon Brothers get the win again. Not sure where they're going to go next. Maybe New Day. Maybe the bar. What happened? Where's the bar at? Is one of them? Well,
I don't know what's going on with the bar, but it's very clear that they're going Bludgeon Brothers against Daniel Bryan and somebody.
True.
I mean, that's very clear. They beat you over the head with that one.
Yeah. Are they going that way for the tag titles at Extreme Rules?
That's where I say it's going. Yes. Daniel Bryan and a partner, probably The Miz, against the Bludgeon Brothers at Extreme Rules.
Phil, come back.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I know. Renee Young interviews Shinsuke Nakamura and talk about his loss, and Nakamura goes, "What is a loss?" And Renee got pissed. She's like, "Oh, if you're gonna act like that, I'm in this." He goes, "I know what you meant." And I love how Nakamura said the referee counted too fast and was unfair, and he didn't count in Japanese. Heel Nakamura is great. Give him a damn title, right, Matt?
That's what we're hoping for.
Nakamura says Jeff Hardy's eyes may be open, but if he crosses Nakamura again, he will close them. And now, at about 10 minutes after the second hour, the gauntlet match begins, and Jesus Christ, man. 45 minutes of fun stuff here with that gauntlet match, wasn't it, Matt?
Yeah, it was a great match. Definitely full of surprises.
Big E and Daniel Bryan, they went for like 12 minutes. That was an awesome match. And then Bryan gets the running knee on Big E, and next out is Samoa Joe. They went for 8 to 10 maybe, Matt, you'd say?
Probably somewhere around there.
Bryan was going for a baseball slide to the outside. Joe sidestepped and put him in the coquina clutch. And Bryan used the guardrail kind of as almost like a Salida del Sol type of move to break the hold. He gets back in the ring. Joe could not make it by the count of 10, so he's eliminated by countout. What I failed to mention was when Daniel Bryan made his entrance. He made his entrance right as the Bludgeon Brothers won, and so they had a little stare down. Well, after Joe was beat by countout, the Bludgeon Brothers reappeared and beat the shit out of Daniel Bryan. And guess who's next? It's The Miz. What timing, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't even a match. It was a pick-up Bryan skull-crushing finale, throw Bryan over the outside of the ring. And that left only one man left, and that was Rusev. And I thought Miz and Rusev had a pretty solid 12 minutes together in the ring as well.
Oh, yeah.
The entire gauntlet match went about 44 minutes, and holy shit, Rusev hits a Machka kick and puts on the Accolade, and Miz taps out. Rusev Day is your number one contender for the WWE Championship. Did you think I would utter that sentence in 2018, Matt?
A couple months ago, maybe. Today, no. So it was definitely very nice to see.
AJ Styles comes out to confront Rusev. Rusev offers to shake hands, and they shake hands. And English wanted a handshake, and Styles is like, okay, I'll give you a handshake. And English goes, just kidding. And Styles punched English, and that was the end of SmackDown. Great SmackDown. AJ Rusev, I'm excited. Probably no title change.
Yeah, there's
never know.
Not going to be a title change. But it's nice Rusev's finally getting a shot.
Yeah, and hopefully they can give us a good 18 to 20 minutes. It's gotta main event Extreme Rules, don't you think?
Probably not.
Ain't no Universal title to main event.
No, it'll probably be the multi-man match.
Yeah.
To determine who faces Brock, well, that'll probably close.
Yank, right?
Well, that's WWE. Can't keep treating SmackDown like the second-class citizen. It's going to Fox, motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Lost in the Midcard. Once again, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. What you got to do, search for Lost in the Midcard, hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way, typically every Thursday and Mondays after your WWE pay-per-view. You can also subscribe to us on the YouTube. The links to all those subscription models are on our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard, or you can go to our Twitter at LITMC Podcast. Also on our Twitter, we share a lot of the great wrestling tweets from around the world, so make sure to give us a follow there. Matt's on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. I'm on the Twitter at JB Huskers. Give us a follow as well. And before we ride off into that sunset, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
I know a lot of people tuned in to the show today because they were anxious to hear me ramble about Big Ass's release. But honestly, I just didn't have the energy that I wanted to have going into the show tonight due to the passing of Vader. It's just been weighing on my mind all day, and if I was kind of low energy on the show to the fans, I apologize. But sometimes these deaths hit you hard, and Vader certainly hit me hard, and it's been a trying day, and hoping tomorrow will be better.
Yeah, definitely. For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard. Have yourselves a good week. We'll catch you next week where we preview Best in the World.